So I mean, that carries on here and now and
Oh,
continues to be
it's
a
a
first pick
corrosive
meta.
haze now, isn't it? It's not just a
Yeah.
damage amplification that's
What has it
going on.
got?
There's actually just a haze on top
It's
of
got
people now.
balls of the deep.
10
Oh, my bad.
seconds
Bash of
remaining.
the deep, of course.
Ah,
Can't forget that. These names are wonderful.
5 seconds
Look at this
remaining.
though.
complexity with the Abaddon.
A,
Ooh.
that's great and all, but a Wisp pick in American
Reserve
Yeah,
Cubes, you don't
Wisp
see
is
it very
not
often.
really a scene hero, so DC, of all the teams to pull out, I would not.
Who's gonna play that shit? I mean,
Neither
Saksa.
of them I've really seen play Wisp very much, but I'm
Yeah.
sure one of them, they both play it quite a fair amount. I'm sure maybe Sax has played it quite a bit more, but I think he's usually the button.
Plays everything, so I figure he
Mhm.
probably plays it just because he plays everything. You know.
Maybe he's probably going to be playing the Slardar, to be honest. I don't see Moon being the
You don't think?
offlane Slardar
Yeah,
kind of player,
I see
but
that.
that's just how I
But
think.
but then you have a Wisp Slardar
10
support
seconds
duo.
remaining.
Like, is
Um,
that good? That seems a bit much.
5
well,
seconds remaining.
yeah, it feels very much like they have to have strong lanes. Like they have to have like maybe a powerful range carry that can kill Wisp Slardar on the top lane,
Yeah.
and maybe a Wisp like maybe a Wisp co-conspirator in the middle lane. You don't see like tinies usually. Maybe just like something like an SF or something like that to kind of go with them.
Complexity's turn
I'm just
to
curious if
ban.
complexity ban OD now because I think OD is one of the major kind of warning signs for an Abaddon to go into a team fight because he just doesn't really have the disincentive to stop hitting you when you press ulti because he's going to sit there and take your brains anyway. And the brains will fall out of your face and he will consume them. And then
Yes.
he will use them to beat you over the head some more.
Remaining.
I think I have covered this subject
Yeah.
previously, but it's one of my favourite subjects because
Reserve
OD is
time.
very, very fun in that situation.
I'm looking through the history of Dota buff here for DC, and I can't even see the last time they played Wisp here. Scrolling down, scrolling down. I don't even see
Oh, there we go.
the little ball of energy anywhere there.
DC's
And good
turn
call,
to
by the
pick.
way. Yeah, they do ban out the OD. He's just a bit too much here to handle, and already with the lineup that DC have thrown together, would be a bit too much. Okay, they banned a Wisp here. Still again, not picking it, not picking it, not picking it, not picking it, not picking it. I'll just try one more
10
page here. Now we're in the
seconds
Boston
remaining.
Major here. Rhyme. Nothing, 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 nothing.
5
Summit.
seconds remaining.
Nothing, nothing. Wait, wait. 3 months ago at the Summit
Reserve
5,
time.
Rhyme, they did play a Wisp with an Ursa and an OD and
Who did
a
they play against?
Slardar with a Warlock kicker. And this was against Team Faceless.
Ah.
And just a
But
nice
that's the
little
Summit 6, is it not?
BO3. Oh yeah, it is Summit 6. You know why I was
Because
mistaken?
I remember.
We had to
Yeah.
use the Summit 5 ticket because for whatever
Ah.
reason they didn't, they didn't approve or they didn't put in the Summit 6 ticket. So it's listed as Summit 5, but you are correct. This is Summit 6 3 months
10
ago. The
seconds
last time
Because
we've
I don't
seen
remember.
a Wisp.
I don't remember faces at the Summit 5. It would have been nice to
You're-
see them, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember them.
No, that definitely makes it more obvious.
Oh,
But,
Shadow Fiend,
Complexity
the Wisp
turn to
co-conspirator.
pick.
Yes, probably a step down from getting the luxurious OD, but certainly fabled in his own right. The infamous Shadow Fiend. But,
Yeah, so he's going to be
10 seconds
a hero
remaining.
that Wisp kind of, as long as Wisp feels like he's helped SF get to a good point, maybe
5
zone out the enemy
seconds
mid hero,
remaining.
like throw some balls in his face, that kind of thing. Make sure you stack for your SF, take him with overcharge. You just kind of have a nice game for an SF, and you feel like you've done your part as a Wisp. Slardar may have to search a bit more for that meaning in his life. He probably going to have to fiddle with the coL, make sure the coL doesn't do too much in his jungle, maybe. Try and back up his offlaner if he is not the offlaner. If he is the offlaner, then probably be sad that he's the offlaner. But for the most part, Sardar's game is going to be more up in the air
Yeah.
than Wisp's is, I think.
Wisp got to be careful because, Keeper, again, the greatest hero in the game, has now this enhanced blinding light range, too. You can easily snap apart tethers like nothing. I do it on the daily, and if I'm doing it in my pubs, then I'm
Oh,
sure
apparently
others do
the
too.
in-game voice only has me.
That can't
can you
be
check
right.
that?
I don't know why this does this. I will show everyone again. Here, let me get rid of this overlay so you can see for yourself. Go here, go to audio, and my
I'm
mic
sorry, that
is
may be
on.
incorrect.
My mic is on.
I'm just reading a little bit of
Don't
a...
listen to those trolls. I mean, they could be
Okay,
right,
okay.
but it's not on my end. I mean, they can see
Okay,
the
I
little
will.
dancing
5
meter there.
seconds remaining.
Lower this. It's there now. I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes, but guys, I'm telling you,
Reserve
I'm
time.
pushing all the buttons I need to push here. Who's that guy?
Complexity
Who's that guy?
Ah.
He's not in this meta. What meta is DC
Yeah,
living
what
in
is he
right
doing
now?
here?
Okay,
Well,
I'm
so
back
now
to
it's going
Dota
to be
buff.
Wisp Rookie support, which is more interesting. Not really something you see very often.
Back.
Ever.
Yeah, really not.
10
So Moon
seconds
is going to be
remaining.
playing the Slardar. It is something that we don't get to see him play a whole lot often,
5
but
seconds
has picked
remaining.
up from time to time. I mean, I'm even scrolling through Dota. Now he's played it in Star Series and such. I wanted to
Reserve
see where the
time.
Ricky comes into play. I mean, this is just DC trying out some stuff here. You got the one game leverage. You're going against Swindle, a mastermind of drafting. Maybe you're trying to get
Mhm.
under his skin a bit with some fresh face picks.
Yes, coL now have the luxury of picking their two cores, starting with the fourth pick. Kind of got those numbers the wrong way around. So they see that they already have a bad and coddle. Like you can pretty much pick most things. I think you probably want to look towards like team fight. If it was liquid, they'd probably pick Necrolite and Invoker, but they're not really liquid, so not as a flame. Just they have a different play style. So it's probably going to be looking towards maybe Life Stealer. I want to say, even with like just to go with the Bat Rider, so they have something that they can definitely kill with a lasso.
Yeah, yeah.
But and especially versus like Ricky Cloud and Slardar stuns and things like that, and something to
Templar
focus. But
Assassin.
TA for Council, good matchup versus the SF.
DC's
Not
turn
necessarily a
to
good matchup versus the SF and the Wisp, but you might get a little bit of help from the coTL. So this laning phase, especially in the mid lane, is already looking to be very, very important. But the last pick for coL, I think they're gonna get the
10
uh,
seconds remaining.
they don't get the last pick, so DC will have the favorite for that.
5
Yeah, the
seconds
Moo pick
remaining.
is going to be the next one here for coL, but then DC can respond
Reserve
to it with
time.
their own what looks like core pickup for resolution.
compLexity's
So
turn to
banning
ban.
out the Slark, who's just got a little bit of everything and can be kind of a man fighter. And we look to complexity side now. You're calling out for something. You said lifesteal or something that
10
Batrider
seconds
can bring
remaining.
openly back into him. Is there a way to?
5 seconds
I don't know, because you have to
remaining.
work with the cloud too. The cloud, the smoke screen is just going to be a bit of a problem. I don't know who can naturally just kind of fend that
Reserve
off,
time.
or maybe goes for
Yeah, it's tricky. Like I
BKB
think
early. Like I'm
you
not
could
too
even
sure.
see them go for something relatively simple like Luna for them, because it's just kind of safe and nice here to fight around. It does okay versus like the Slardar and Wisp and stuff because you
10 seconds
are a Manta
remaining.
builder. You will feel slightly dangerous if you're hitting buildings. I think
compLexity's
if they couldn't
turn
think of
to
anything special, I think they'd probably end up going for Luna, seeing as it's not banned out and it's made it this far. I don't think she really got nerfed that hard. I think some of her talents got changed, or one of her talents got changed. I think it was one of
Yeah.
I think it was the armor became movement speed. I
10
think for the level
seconds remaining.
10 talent. But for the most part, she's still pretty strong. So
5 seconds remaining.
yeah, I
What
think I'd
about
be guessing
like
that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know Moo to play like
Reserve time.
Naga or anything,
Oh,
but they're gonna go with a Centaur.
DC's
Okay then,
turn
that's
to
okay.
a
So this is going to be the TA show then. This is going to be Centaur's going to get a lot of farm. He's going to be blink stunning people. They're going to be going in with Abaddon shields and killing people very quickly with meld strikes with the initial Centaur ulti initiations,
yeah.
and sometimes a pick off or two.
You can even
But
use the
mostly
early
around the TA.
Stampede to just get Batrider in
10
without a Blink
seconds
Dagger
remaining.
and get the early Lasso, because the Centaur's going to get a quick level 6, I'd
5
imagine.
seconds
And then
remaining.
His lineup feels a lot more weird than last time. So they're going to be the Lifestealer pickers now, but Lifestealer against Abaddon, Batrider, like he's going to have a decent lane versus Batrider, so it's a good pick for that part because we already said that the Slardar and Wisp, they're not necessarily the best at helping out their safe lane. So having a hero that can act semi-independently, actually it's going to be Wisp and Ricky now, but a similar thing applies, like melee hero has to kind of roam around, not really strong until they get like some items.
yeah.
The Lifestealer, he's going to be okay versus the Batrider. But the Abaddon with shield makes it difficult. He's not the greatest at killing TA, but he does okay. Especially now with his like late game, he's really strong. He's got like the 15 armor talent, so that makes him quite formidable. And he's good at killing centaurs.
And
So,
Monkeys just loves this hero to death. So
mm.
I'm sure it's. Oh no, wait, but it's Batrider. I saw the
Yeah,
Abaddon.
Monkeys was he's a big Batrider fanatic, and he was
He
for a
is.
long
He
time.
is.
So
He is. He even
5
played it
seconds
in the
remaining.
mid lane for his previous team. I don't know why the team has slipped my mind right now. But sometimes he would play it even in the mid lane occasionally. But yeah, big Batrider advocate even before Abaddon. He's on the Abaddon though,
Prepare
Prime.
for
It's
battle.
Z-Freak Batrider. Huh? Did you see that one coming?
I thought it could happen because simply Batrider doesn't have a fun time against Lifestealer, but I thought it would be more likely that Batrider go up the actually.
Can't jungle bat. Let's remember that is dead and gone. He's got
What
one
happened
level
to that?
sticky.
I didn't really see that.
What?
That Why did jungle back die? I didn't
Well,
really
I thought it was
get the
because
memo.
I figured it was because like what was it? They changed his Firefly early. I'm not too sure what it was. I can't
Oh yeah, the
remember.
Firefly got nerfed extremely. I
Yeah.
was thinking like he can still retreat to the jungle if he has like a decent start and gets like level 5 or something, but
Okay,
Misery is just
well,
gonna have to die.
four
But the
stacks
dust runs out.
of your support Bat Rider level 1, and
30 seconds.
they don't
to
get him with the
battle.
blast. Misery runs out the other direction. Almost a first blood there for coL, but good luck, have fun. Well
Good
played.
luck. So
God
Sax
damn
will
it,
be playing the
monkeys.
Wisp indeed, and he'll be helping out Wee in the mid lane. Misery, he's not really going to be helping anyone for the time being, but he will use a shrine and probably walk up and pose a threat to whichever support kind of looks tasty to him. Probably going to be following on coL for a while, but
Battle begins.
Hansel's going to get ran out for this rune.
And he doesn't get it.
So that's going to be 3 bounty runes going the side of DC. Not the hugest advantage, but already setting up Cancel for a slightly more difficult mid
What
lane
if
than
I
he
told
probably
you it was...
anticipated.
Yeah, 3 bounty runes, you're right. I'm sorry, my NA math couldn't count as fast as you there, apparently.
Oh, it's just they didn't pick up the top rune because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
Resolution was kind of sieging Cancel for the... Oh, and he's going to get ran at by the Riki.
But Z-Freak's here, too, in the mid lane. And able to zone back Wee, so that Wee can't step in. And now we have this awkward 2v2 kind of mid lane. With a zoning Bat Rider, which, yeah, you don't see very often. But
I'm feeling that coL can have the better hand here because, well, we are going to be getting 1 creep, but Cancel should get a few denies there. He's already sitting far ahead in XP initially. And with the hill being on the side of coL for the time being, and Z-Freak just being a more dangerous hero than Riki at this point, Cancel should have a fairly decent time, as you'll see in the CS as it starts to stack up.
Misery's in trouble. Oh, he has the early dust. They're going to go for the kill, and they're going to get it. First blood goes to Cancel. The mid lane, annoying Z-Freak Bat Rider, so far a success.
Yeah, it's this is about as well as they could hope, really. Grabs the flame break, so he becomes even more dangerous.
Monkey's
And
in
SF really
trouble.
just not having fun.
Top lane, hit with the open wounds. He will turn around and get the deny. Monkeys loves to kind of get that early build into a miscoil, or at least save the point just in case for situations like that. And it's pretty good about always getting the deny off.
Yep, all of the work, but none of the satisfaction, thanks to Monkey's denying himself, so... Bit annoying for Resolution, but he'll take it. He gets the farm under tower,
Yeah.
so... Monkey's not doing so great on the CS, but he's getting XP. He's going to fight Saxa for this bounty,
It doesn't look like...
and he's probably going to win.
Yep.
No, he's not!
Oh, what? How did the
Okay.
Wisp doesn't even have arms? How did he reach and get that bounty rune as Monkeys was standing on top of it? I don't understand Dota sometimes, but... Are you alright? Did you
Alright.
fall over there, Ryan?
My little breath guard thing kind of just fell off. So, it's back, and Monkeys is getting ran at.
Yes, he's dead. Could not get the deny this time. May have cursed him on that one. Z-Freak could be in trouble next. He flame breaks him back and away, but that's really all he's going to be able to offer. So he tries to turn back to go for Saksa. He will get that kill. Has one last little giggle for himself before he does end up getting dropped, but still a 2-for-1 trade at the end of the day for DC.
Yep. It seems like okay-ish for coL, but then you realise like Nakes is going to have phase boots fairly soon, and he's already got a 10 stick, so he can't be driven out of the same by Abaddon at any point. And Centaur, he is doing quite well. He is leading on CS by quite a large margin here.
Ooh! Moon gets hit with
Is he going to
double
go for
edge.
this? No. Yeah, he doesn't even have enough mana to illuminate, so... All
Harassing
in all,
him
the lane's
back.
going pretty well for coL, I'd say, even with that top lane being not quite as successful as they would like.
Misery crosses paths with Z-Freak here, but I'm sure he has spotted that Z-Freak does have a couple of dusts. Do not want to get too much into a confrontation with him around. Might make a new approach back towards this mid lane. 2 sentries here, both just kind of outside of range of each other. So that's also not going to be a really safe zone for Misery. But he's thinking about heading that way. Back at top lane, Z-Freak's back in lane, and he's looking to make the Wisp's life a living hell.
He is annoying, isn't he?
I think get
He's
a
just-
wand at this point. I mean, Resolution's got one. He's got 10 charges. Maybe even Saksa should consider picking one up. Blast
I think he
those
probably
charges.
will
Yeah.
fairly immediately as soon as he gets gold, because he rushes the bottle, as is fairly standard for a Wisp.
Get that
But-
magic wand. Oh, he doesn't have enough money. So
And the
that's-
gap is closing a mid now. We are still behind in the deny department, but he is catching up in the CS, especially with his wave under his tower, so this lane is actually going to go to pretty much dead even, excluding a tiny bit of an XP advantage. Actually, because it was dual lane, not even so. So, we are doing fine.
And Misery, we see they're zoning back the coL quite a bit, but yeah, Weehaw able to hold his own and kind of shake off what was a bit of a staggering start for him with the initial 2-on-2 with Batrider getting involved. Looks like Z-Freak and Monkeys, after dealing with a bit of harassment in the top lane, will hit the Shrine and get back to action there. It's been shaken up in our bottom lane down here. We have Moon Meander with 13 CS on his Slardar across the way. Moo is king of CS in this game. 30 and 7 for him on the Centaur. And it looks like he's going to go for the early Hood build-up. So not like a rush to Blink or anything like that, or a rush to Vanguard, a Hood call.
Well, Monkeys is getting ran at. He may be forced to TP here if he wants to live, and he will have to at some point, but he just needs to decide when that is going to be.
I'm calculating the myth coil to deny myself once again. Here we go. And I'm going to have to go for it. Yes! Monkeys does it again.
Yeah, so he just removes the risk altogether, just eliminates himself from the world. Moo will be ran up by, and he will actually get hit by a long range raise from Weehaw.
He does get sniped there by Weehaw with the raise, but he was able to get one last little hit in. To Misery with the turnaround. Top lane, Z-Freak could find himself in a bit of trouble, goes for the Fireflight. Open Wounds is there, he's trying to fly into the waterfall. Can he make it? Ah, yes, he's fine. Using the map powers here with that flight. Look who's coming! Misery shows up, and this time he will be punished playing around that bridge. And now they're rushing on
board. If they get Orb of Venom hit, they'll kill this guy, but I think Resolution blocked Misery there, so...
Oh no, not able to get the connection.
Nice Rage.
The Rage was there. They will eventually bring down Zoxa, the Dire will at least. But still worthy trade for DC as this game gets even right back up 4-4.
Yeah, I'm just looking at... Monkey's just getting pressured immensely here.
Yeah. I don't think Resolution has any respect for him in this lane. Continues to just take it to him, but moves back from his Bounty Rune adventure. Pump fakes out and forces the rage.
So he has mana to infest, and he doesn't even need to because he has Saxa being the mana battery that he wants to be.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Misery is just going to plop a blocking ward down onto one of the Radiant Ancients, but he will not catch the other one. Cancel is attempting to stack both at the same time.
Yeah, this is a TA stream. One of the best map changes for her.
Misery going for the courier, not quite going to get it. Cancel kind of just going, well, can't do anything about you, so I'm just going to keep harassing the SF. I think the main story about this is Moon is doing way better than Monkeys is, and he's hit level 6. He's got Tranquil Witch. He doesn't have Dagger, obviously, because that's a long way off, but he's got a decent path to it, I'd say. Because for DC to really have Sada be pressured, like, they need to lose control over their mid lane, I think, and also have Resolution afraid to kind of go farm. But I don't see either of those things happening from this point. So Moon is going to be the factor that changes things after a while.
coL hit their Shrine here and maybe make a move towards that bottom lane where things are going so right for DC. Because at this point, Moon is going to race forward towards that Blink Dagger. Uh-oh, Weehaw possibly scouted here. Stampede gonna get popped. They're looking to make Chase Flame Break. Not gonna find its mark. He pops the wand, looks to go for the TP. Zoxa will be there to even help ensure his safe escape, but he might have handed over his own little life, and he did. They'll jump and get the gratification of at least taking someone down, but they could end up losing another fort. Moon has showed up. Points at Monkeys.
There's no way Monkeys is getting out.
And he crushes him. Oh, will he get denied from the Satyr creeps? Manages to pull them away. Monkeys trying to go for his deny. He gets it down again. Monkeys with the classic play.
So Monkeys is being very, very efficient about his deaths, but they will concede the middle tower. So this move, they did kill a Wisp, and as a result of SF kind of getting harassed and they have to use TPs to kind of catch them, they will concede their tier 1 tower to the TA. So who now has Blightstone, who has at least one Ancient stack, so farm will accelerate for Cancel. This is the point where EA may not necessarily be able to out-CS Shadow Fiend in early stages of the lane, but as they both start to farm jungle, TA with the Ancients can actually have a bit of an advantage in that respect if Shadow Fiend doesn't already have stacks, which does seem to not be the case. So cancel. Things are going to get better from here.
It is still just kind of only cancel for right now.
Well,
Monkeys is
yeah, Moo's
still
not
trying to
really,
find his way.
yeah.
Moo is, he got his hood, but now he's looking to get Tranquils, and then it's still going to be a while before we even see him get his Blink Dagger. And by that point, farming options are going to probably become a bit limited. That laning phase is over, and that's when the aggressive wards start coming out, and that's when DC could look to make their jump. I mean, there's Wisp is now level 6, so relocates are something to be concerned with. I would just be too worried for coL if they're just putting it all on cancel and cancel only.
Oh, there's a TP up, and Monkey's just getting ran at all the time.
Yeah. He's level 6 now, so borrowed time.
If he denies from this, then I will be quite impressed.
I
But
hope
there
he
is a
does.
cloud, there is a stun.
Come on, Monkeys. Can he do it? No. He gets stunned, locked, and
But
not
meanwhile,
able to do it. But bottom lane,
coL
waiting
just
for
like-
the return.
Yeah, that was a dangerous place to TP from. So they will be caught. So that was definitely worth for coL, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Although they are going to set up a Ricky TP gank, so he's going to TP down. If they catch TA, that would be a miracle for them, but I don't think they're really going to get that. Maybe they get the Batrider. Maybe they do get TA, actually. Yeah, TA's very far out.
The Ricky bomb. Oh, but he's able to run out from trouble here with assistance from Moo. The Stampede's good, but now Zoxa looks to roll in with assistance from Wee. They raise it on forward. Moo steps in, trying to get off the stun, but they move in for cancel. Tries to hide, but they see him. He goes down.
That was a very dangerous decision to turn around. Like, it was like, oh, maybe I can burst the Ricky with my meld, and then I can follow up with a Centaur stun, but they really just didn't have enough to turn that. They should have used the entire duration of that Stampede just to get out. I don't think DC really had a chance to catch TA if they just exited from that point on, but now, with the TA being dead, Stampede being down, Centaur being out of mana as they scout with the Wisp, they know, okay, this tower is safe to take. And now SF, he's got 2 kills, he had pretty good CS, and now with the tier 1 tower, Dragonlance coming online, this is the point where DC feel comfortable grouping up around it. And Moon will be, I think, grabbing the Blink fairly quickly now, yeah, 150 gold off, going to be given the top lane, going to have to battle Abaddon for the right to farm this creep wave, and he'll probably lose, so maybe farming the small camp, but all in all, DC kind of getting what they need to fight from here on.
Looks like Moo's being summoned up to the top lane where they're looking to make their move onto Moon. They get him with a lasso. There's the double edge. The blast flies out. They have more than enough to get the finish. Moon will be the victim of that gank, and they'll follow it up with a tier 1 takedown. Cancel the lone man hanging behind, waiting in the mid lane. There are some TPs here available from coL if they want to head to mid lane as a response. They may need to if they want to help cancel out. As they dive in, that's when the TPs roll. It's going to be Monkeys first on the scene, but it looks like DC have already backpedaled a bit.
Yeah, it's when coL start grouping up that you see that even with the slight, like, TA isn't really the most farmed TA in the world, like Centaur didn't really get the most ever, and the Baden really he had a tough time. He did deny himself, but still these heroes together when they start fighting with their Batrider and with their coL, it just becomes very, very irritating, but coL will just get eaten.
Yeah, Melon's trying to go for a greedy ward, I would believe.
Yeah, that's going to get punished fairly quickly.
Yeah, it just sometimes you go out there and you're either going to get like the most rewarding intel ward that ends up even getting you back in the game. And sometimes you just die trying to get in there and get it done.
But the overall sense I'm getting from coL is their draft is attempting to be more than the sum of its parts, I think. And unfortunately, the parts are getting ran at with impunity at this point. But when they feel comfortable grouping up, which will probably be maybe TA Blink or Deso if you chose to go for that, but I think maybe Blink before that. That was probably going to be the point where, along with the Centaur Blink, which he has now, that they're going to feel comfortable moving around the map as a group, going for smokes, trying to pick off maybe the Wisp or the SF. But now, smoke coming out, the Stardust Blink with a Lifestealer inside him.
Old
and
man.
if they see that blast, they're probably going to go for him.
Old man mid lane. You're in trouble. Old man. He's going to get his hip is going to get broken for sure. Oh, God, he's running right to him.
Is he going to escape the fish?
Oh, they go for cancel instead. The better target and blast him. A relocate even comes in. I think the old man.
Melons, you didn't need to do that.
I know. He shows himself with the mana leak and couldn't end up popping a leak in his pants if he sees the trouble that's coming his way here. Is able to make it up and out. The Stampede comes out, though, mid lane. They get a nice lasso pullback, taking out Moon Meander here. On the other front, they finally continue their chase and try to get the jump on for Swindle, and then decide to pull off entirely. DC had split up. coL took advantage of that for a moment there. Misery finds it to the high ground. Oh, they pop the dust, but he's already gone.
The problem with this coL draft is already you can see that although they do have the Stampede to disengage, if you look at their damage, apart from TA, it's entirely magical. And Shadow Fiend with his good start, he's going to get BKB fairly soon. Just, it feels like they're very, very all in on this TA. And with the TA being behind the Shadow Fiend, I think that it's just... Unless they get Roche, and Roche soon, I think they're going to be in trouble. Although they do have a Baden, and they do have a DD on TA, that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later.
Hey, they're actually in Roche right now.
Yeah.
You read that very nicely, and coL did too.
I may have been looking at the TA, which might have helped my my problem-solving abilities there. So I'm quite happy with...
Well, just if you call it as you see it, that's my job.
And
so.
That's not to say I can't call it as I see it sometimes. It provides advantage rather than just trying to sound it out, so to speak.
Scans out here from Dire's side, but I might have been too close to the pit. Didn't even trigger. They'll pop a dust for safety, but the Roche is down. coL will get it. DC may look to try to avoid any future fights here before moving forward. We saw that kind of patience from them yesterday in their matchup against NP. Even though they were kind of winning the game overall, MP managed to sneak their way into not one, but I think 2 different Roches to hold the Aegis, and DC were content on just weighing it out each time. We'll see if DC want to go for something or not. It looks like they spotted Moon. They lasso him up, pull him back in, and that Slardar is going to be taken out of the fight for 30 seconds. So coL continue their parade down this mid lane, and it's time to work into this tier 2.
Because on paper, DC don't want to fight right now. They've got Lifestealer Desolator very soon. They've got SF BKB. It's not too close, but it's close enough that you probably could afford to wait for it because SF does farm quite quickly, but they're going to lose towers in this time. Losing that Roche, I think, although unavoidable, is still going to be costly. And now they go for a smoke. They have a lasso. Oh, they don't have lasso, actually. They use the lasso on the side of the... They have a Stampede still, and they do have a lot of damage, which they can deploy on anyone who's on top lane, but DC will evacuate.
In good time,
the smoke probably not going to be the most effective, but... And they're not killing these creeps, so they're not really going to be able to siege this tier 2 very quickly either.
Looks like Misery.
But not the most efficient map movement coming out from coL at this point.
Yeah, it was read pretty nicely, it looks like, from DC too. Misery kind of drew out exactly where coL were going. And now that they'll see them occasionally pop out in the lane, kind of makes it a bit more obvious here. Moo confidently cutting the wave all the way up at top as DC are on their journey down mid lane in hopes of finally finishing out this tier 1. Though DC doing so well, they have been not getting a lot done objectively in this game. They've only taken down 1 tower so far, and a fight could be coming right now. Monkey's already taking it to Wee, starting to build up those stacks. He looks to go for the Requiem, but the lasso's there. A relocate comes out from Saksa, though. It pulls him back, maybe a bit too far from the fight. The fight continues on, though, and it's going to be Moon finished off. Resolution's going to be next. Cancel already. Going to the low ground, looking to get the jump on for Saksa. And he is going to be easily dealt with here. Weehaw will be able to walk away from the fight. Misery not really involved at the start. It's all complexity on this one.
I feel DC are trying too hard to play on the map. Like, sure, you might concede to map control, you might lose a few objectives in this time, but at least fight when you can fight. Like, I feel they must have, someone must have made a call like, oh, we can get a pick here, guys, we can do something here, we can control this area, they're not going to be here, or something like that. It feels like they were there not because they felt like they had like the best fight ever, but that there was a specific fight that they could take. And I think now with the SF BKB, they'll feel a little bit more comfortable, but yeah, they'll have to concede this tier 2 top as well. So all in all, not the best play from DC at that point. But they have time. They have the Lifestealer Deso. He still has yet to really use it in a more important Lifestealer Slardar gank. So.
Ooh, jump and dust for Misery here. Misery's going to be able to get the Blink Strike, connecting for Saksa, and will avoid that catch from coL. coL will get that tower. And a lot of confidence now as they continue to hold out here. DC will have to shrug that one off and continue their grind to farm.
Invisibility.
But curious to see what the next big item pickup is that they're going to be waiting for you. We're talking about the Weehaw BKB, which he has in hand now. Does look like Moon's going for one himself.
Yeah, it feels that DC's teamfight is very, very based around this Lifestealer Slardar, because honestly, if you look at the like collection of heroes, like it's Ricky who's got Cloud and Tricks of the Trade. You can Centaur and Stampede out of that stuff pretty easily.
Yeah.
So you save Stampede for the Ricky using all this stuff. You've got Open Wounds, again, Stampede doesn't really help you with that. Wisp doesn't emit much damage either. So it's all about Lifestealer Slardar, and then Shadow Fiend kind of getting that Requiem off onto multiple heroes probably. I think you need at least, maybe if the Wisp Slardar doesn't get like a few in the early game, or in the early fights. It's just, yeah. It feels very, very difficult for DC to kind of get their damage out. Whereas coL, Lasso, Centaur Stun, TA follow-up,
Yeah.
bam, someone's dead. So they have a much easier time, it feels, at this point anyway. But when the SF gets even more fun, he's going for the Pike now. Probably even going to be looking like towards straight Butterfly after this. Maybe Skadi or something like that, but it's going to be that item after the Pike. That's the point where, up until that point, coL need to take fights.
Dire's bottom
Because still
tower
SF
is
feels
under
like you can fight against it.
For now, though, they're looking to kind of make up for the objectives they didn't get earlier in the game. Tier 1 going to be dropped,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
but DC are still pushing their pressure on this top lane a bit. coL will go straight for the second tier 2. And because of all this surgence of money in that successful team fight, they are in the net worth lead. The biggest net worth advantage of this game so far. And now they find themselves approaching into the low ground, or into the high ground rather, of the DC base. Moon waiting. He's got the Lifestealer in his pocket, hoping to go for a Crush Bomb here. coL have to watch their positioning.
They can just sit here. Like,
There it is, the movement, the bomb, the smoke, the quick kill's going to be there. Cancel's already gone. Jumping in, Stampede with the lasso pullback. They're going to be able to get rid of Suxa and take the Wisp out of the fight, but it might be too much damage already. Without Cancel around, there's no more deeps to be offered here from coL. Now it could be just muscling forward and finishing off the support staff here. I mean, Moo's the last one who can really offer the damage, and he's already out. Him and Z-Freak both will TP. They're the last survivors of this fight. DC pull out a really good hold.
all right, scratch my last statement. Okay, they can't stand up there. Monkeys can stand up that hill, but Cancel, not so much. He disappeared very, very quickly. The combination of the Deso with the pointing at and the SF final right click is just, he collapsed fairly quickly. Now it's up to SF to decide, and he's going to go for the Butterfly. And TA, like, she doesn't have Deso yet. It's 22 minutes in, and with the TA being your solo physical damage core, you really want her to have more than not a Deso at this point.
Yeah, and
I think this SF's going to finish Butterfly before TA even thinks about getting an MKB.
yeah,
And then that's going to be around the time of the Roche. I think if DC get this next Roche with an SF Butterfly, I think the game is pretty much, like, not over, but it's very, very difficult for coL to feel like they can win. Sure, they can defend high ground, they can get pickups on Wisp and Ricky and things like that with Lasso, but from that point on, DC will feel very, very confident. But there is still time. There is still time to use this Lasso, to use the Stampede. They have a Baden who still feels unkillable for the most part, at least while TA and coL are still alive. So it's up to coL to really make moves during this time.
yeah, they're trying it. They're drawing out a few sketches here in hopes of getting the jump on someone like Moon. In this case, Z-Freak there now, but we'll realize he's just unfortunately a bit too late. Be nice to get the grab onto someone like Weehaw, who holds currently the highest net worth, so you can hope to kind of take that for yourself. But, you know, coL overall as a team, we're winning in the net worth up to that point, so it only makes the handover to DC that much more favorable because of that defense. And now Misery locked up here with Resolution. Moon nearby. Oh, they don't even know it, but Monkeys was just down there, and I guess they just didn't know what they were going to be jumping into, just a bit too much in the dark. They'll pull off and look for other opportunities, it would appear. But
Are you
overall
ready?
stalling probably for the Roche, getting that Aegis, you know.
Oh, is this going to be a one-man? Maybe a two-man? This is going to be a two-man coming out from DC. The Healing Waters.
Yes. Refreshing hot
Not the
springs.
best, but it's all right. It's fairly decent. But we have 4k gold off the Butterfly, so he's looking close. Oh, 2k gold for the Butterfly, sorry. 4,000 gold to buy it. 2,000 gold he currently has. So that's going to happen right around the same time as this Roche, especially if he gets the really nice Ancients. If you see these Prowler Shamans, or whatever they're called, I don't really know, I just call them Super Ancients because they're really, really nice to have for SF. But he's going to have the butterfly fairly soon. A smoke coming out from coL with 4 of their team members. With the Deso, with the haste, they're probably going to assume that DC will feel comfortable initiating on Mu and then counter-initiate and then take Rax. Because this is like, I don't want to say the last hurrah, but this is like the last point where coL feel like their draft is fully functional against DC.
Dire's bottom tower
Here comes
is under
coL
attack.
now, using the last remaining remnants of a
Dire's bottom tower
potential
has
power
fallen.
peak here. They move in and take down that tier 3. Like, we got it. Bye-bye. And they leave. They just leave. They got the tier 3 and they're done with this. So they're going to go
Yep.
right back to the shrines. They know that this is easier free money. Gobble that up. And I don't know. They don't have too much vision here on DC's
Actually-
woods. So if they try to coast over there, DC could maybe TP into that shrine or just get over there.
Yeah, it's a smoke coming out. So Moon
Yeah,
with
they're gonna
Midas,
meet him
though,
there.
he is going to immediately smoke up with a Blink Dagger
They're
with
gonna meet him
Lifestealer
there.
inside.
They have the vision
And,
advantage.
oh,
If they run
Abaddon
uphill,
TP's away.
uh-oh. And they go in for it. They knew they were going to do the coast-to-coast shrine action, and they just welcomed it with open arms. Move. Big stomp right there. Looking to go for the burst of Soxa. Can he get it in time? The man is healing on and holding on, but eventually will get popped. Wee steps in with a Requiem. Good damage, but cancels here now, and he has not been bursted down like previously, so he can dish out the damage as necessary. Over on the other side, Resolution making his move. Is able to kind of mow down Swindle, avoiding the stun with his rage. Earns himself a killing spree, and that will be the end of the fight for coL.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, what Cancel was doing, he was like, okay, I've got... Well, the Wisp is dead, the Sardar is dead, I can fight the SF at this point. SF, with the Talisman of Evasion, actually was outfighting the tier at that point, simply because he just is higher level and has more items for the most part. So, Tier kind of zoned himself out of that fight, so he couldn't really meet up with his Abaddon and his Centaur. So then he couldn't follow up on the Lifestealer, and maybe that fight goes a bit differently if he focuses with his Abaddon, but he just took 568 damage. That was
Monkey's got
a lot of damage.
Monkey's got put into another dimension right there. Just being stalked by Misery. Moon comes in, points at him, and there's just nothing you can do at that point. Ooh,
Oh, Misery,
Siegfried.
very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick on that cloud.
Goes in, gets the immediate smoke screen. Now the lasso comes out. They look to get the pullback here. Weehaw will be able to grab up that Aegis, so coL are going into a fight, knowing
gonna
that
die
they're going to
twice,
have
though.
the extra life. Weehaw, though, they'll end up losing his Aegis here. coL get the quick swarm around him. Moon cannot offer anything as he has no mana, and compLexity are going to be able to take this.
Yeah, so Lifestealer picks up the AC, but it's just going to help him watch his teammate die, unfortunately. They know they can't go in. At this point, DC's draft is so around their cores that I think if one of them gets zoned out, if they lose like their Slardar initiation very, very early on, if he feels like he can't do stuff, then it's so easy for coL to kind of take over. Like, DC need to kill so many during their early push if they're not pushing themselves.
Dire's structures are fortified.
With the Abaddon alive, the Batrider available, the Centaur allowed to blink in and get repeated stuns, especially with the AC, it feels like DC
There's the
just...
buyback, and here comes the move from DC. Looking to shut down coL so they can't take a Rax at all, but they are going to be able to at least get the melee Rax here. Weehaw hiding within the trees, taking it to Mu. He pops his pipe. He's trying his best to survive and run. coL have so far been able to make it out without losing a life, but the hunt is on from DC. Misery leading out the charge. Meanwhile, Zephyr going to get stunned up and bashed down from Moon. Looking to go for the finish there. coL's still alive. Rushing back in away, Zephric's going to be able to blink out. Cancel looking to turn and fight, taking it to Soxa. Requiem going to be dished out from Wee. Still not enough damage. Now Monkeys pops the borrowed time, holds on, survives. Cancel gets that finish on the Soxa, but now finds himself under the smoke screen, under the right click of Wee and Resolution, and then he gets just mauled. Zephyr ultimately is going to be brought down. The rest of coL try to waddle themselves away from trouble, but Misery is chasing him. DC
Abaddon
get
is
more
just
catches.
so obnoxious to fight against. You can just really see in these drawn-out fights the amount of shields coming out, the amount of heals. It's just very, very troublesome. But SF, he's now back up to almost full souls, and now 900 gold remains until he gets now 700 gold. Now 500. So he's getting closer and closer to that butterfly. TA without the MKB probably she's going for the pike as soon as possible. But they're going to have a problem with killing the SF. Because you saw they kill him twice very easily with everyone on top of them, but
Yeah.
I think that can't be expected to happen again. Although Wisp is extremely underfarmed, so he can't really do much to help. Like a Wisp at 30 minutes almost with just an urn and a bottle, and no urn charges, is, yeah. His life has been made very, very difficult by the TA, because cancel has just been hunting him every single fight. cancel is not a man who has a lot of CS, but he is a man who has a lot of Wisp kills.
Yeah. He'd like to stay way out of the fight and try to get one of those clutch relocates to maybe pull someone out from the lasso or something, but, you know, without a blink or anything.
Yeah, you
he's-
could very
he's
easily find
spotted.
yourself getting
Yeah.
mana leaked and then blinked on by a centaur. Like, if you're Wisp in this fight, centaur blinks on you, you're dead. If you get blinked on by Batrider, you're dead. If you get blinked on by TA, you have a chance at living, but when he gets Pike, you're dead. It's... So Ghost Scepter is going to be the avenue of survival for him. The scan coming out for Dire, so just check if there's any smoke ganks coming around, wrapping around. And now with Wisp leaving the building, they're probably going to set up for maybe a Lifestealer and Fest gank, but I don't feel they should at this point.
Dire scan forced out to see if coL were going to backpedal for the Roche here after getting the Shrine or crossing through the Roche. They get that Shrine done and start heading the direction where DC have been pushing in from the top lane. And they'll rendezvous back towards the base, it would appear. Bit of an awkward moment in the game right now for DC. I mean, we're not able to really make too much out of their Aegis, obviously losing it immediately. coL have been the team now to be able to kind of make their first impression inside the base of DC, taking out the one Rax.
I think it's just Moo's extremely big, and they can't really kill him reliably. Even with Lifestealer having AC and Deso, he's got the Vanguard, he's got the Assault Cuirass, and he has Stampede, so it's really hard to focus him, especially with all the shields coming out. Because they have really, with the Abaddon still alive, there is no way for DC to focus a target outside of SF maybe Hurricane piking them. So fights that are drawn out that do not have Slardar Lifestealer just killing someone instantly, you see coL just kind of take the advantage as the fight goes on. Because it's just harder for DC members to stay alive than it is for coL. But DC, they'll feel comfortable fighting with this SF Butterfly, especially with the overcharge. So he will just be bopping this tier 2 tower, and coL will take this chance just to farm the enemy jungle. Yeah, DC just... I felt like throughout this game they've been taking fights that they really just didn't need to take. They could have conceded more objectives and just kind of felt a little bit more comfortable, but their support suffered quite a lot. Like, more so Flaxer than Misery, because Misery's got his Midas and now a Diffusal now. But yeah, I feel like they've been trying too hard to fight. But at this point, coL is split up, Moo is not there, so if they catch anyone here with this gank from the Slardar with the Invis-Rune, then that will be that for them. But TP coming out from Monkeys just in time. The recall on Z-Freak. Cancel will also be evacuating shortly. Or just backing out. And they're probably going to feel comfortable, maybe possibly like tentatively heading up towards the high ground, because they do have a stronger team fight at this point. And Roche isn't for a while, but they do want DC to kind of group up and stop farming their side of the map efficiently. Because DC at that point, they are doing that very well. Because they have the SF farming one side, Lifestealer farming the other.
I mean, you
It's
can
just-
see it in the graph. You saw the two big fights that coL took that got him way up high in the net worth, and then when we plateau or go back to just the farming game, DC are taking all the net worth right back. And suddenly, since that last big fight and movement from coL, when they're able to take a Rax and we're in total control, the game feels almost even. With maybe DC having the better hand and more of an even 5-on-5 kind of a fight. So it's on coL to continue to make all these scrappy fights break out and do things on their terms. And now they're going to try to make another one of these scraps happen here. Smoked and coming down this mid lane. Moo leads out the charge.
Oh, he's got a basher in his quick buy. He's gonna... There's gonna be a point where Lifestealer walks up to Moo and Moo's just gonna say no, and he's gonna hit him in the head really hard. And it's gonna be very, very satisfying to watch, I'm sure.
If he can make it to that point here, he's got the money for it, just needs to save a touch more for buyback if necessary, and then, yeah.
Because all coL need to do at this point is just threaten a team fight now. Just the threat of this team fight is causing DC to sit in their base with their supports. Just be very, very careful about venturing out. Because they have to be ready for a fight at any point if enough heroes from coL are missing. And coL can just abuse that, use this time to push out the lanes, stop DC from farming their jungle. But now, I think DC kind of realize what's up. They're going to quite carefully head out into top lane. But I don't think they're going to feel too comfortable farming at this point. So everyone's just kind of go as far away from each other as possible, it seems.
Yeah. One team will take the initiative to push one side late down, and the other team has to head back and plug it up. Vice versa. We're getting closer to see where our Roche timer is going to be at. Just a few moments, we'll get the full download here. And I'm sure it's something that both teams are going to be a bit onto here. And it looks like Moo has changed his mind though, Rhyme. Not Basher anymore. Shiva's seems to be the choice now. And he's at the plate mail, so it seems like that will be the likely choice.
Evers is very, very close for him. He kind of realized he could go and be the... Instead of being the 30 armor man, he is going to become the close to 40. And yeah, he's just going to be very, very irritating to kill. Because all of DC's damage is physical. Every single bit of it. And if coL can stay alive through that with the aid of Moo just being the physical damage negator supreme, then I think that is a pretty good thing. And when he hits 25, he gets the return aura, so everyone gets a little bit of what Moo's got going on, so... I'm just... Yeah, coL just grouping up as 5, just threatening this perpetual fight. Like, DC have to remain ready. Sada has to stay inside the slot. Like, Sada has to have the life stealer with him at all times. DC have to stick with the SF and Wisp together. It's just good play from here. And now coL, they can feel comfortable just walking up towards this high ground again. And again, DC will just have to either go now or just sit and defend this high ground. And just by doing this, they stop DC from farming.
Half will be coming back inside the base. The other half kind of split pushing the bottom lane a bit. Already that bottom lane making their return now. This tower is just getting taken down now by Moo's return and the creeps.
This is silly.
But it's doing damage.
Of all the things in Dota, I hate this the most, I think.
This is quite the siege. It's working though.
We just get off my tower and Moo's just like, alright, you can hurricane fight me if you want, but I'll just walk back here if you don't mind.
And the tower's down, just like that.
That was exciting.
Yeah, it was a couple moments of Centaur just turning his ass towards the tower and farting on it or something, and then it died. Like, is that Dota now for real? Like,
well, if you remember the time of SD Centaur, that was a thing. You just have Centaur illusions flying around. Like, Centaurs would buy Heart into Manta, and they would just send all of the towers would get sieged all of the time. But
yeah.
coL with this Roche now, with Cancel getting closer and closer to that MKB. Again, he is still quite underfarmed compared to the SF, but once he gets that MKB, it won't really matter. Because no matter what SF buys, TA will still be very, very, very effective at killing him. So
our
smoke
DC,
coming out from DC now.
Yeah, because they're at risk of like missing out on a window when they were super strong. If that MKB comes together, they smoke up. They're looking to get the compLexity smoke play onto compLexity, if you will. Let's see. coL already heading way up.
The scan coming out from the Dire. They know that coL moved up.
I don't know what they're going to be able to do with that information. You can't just casually run through your own jungle there. coL has already been kind of claiming as their own.
Who do you go on? Do you go on the Centaur with 44 armor?
What is this? No! Jump in commitment. Can they blast down the crazy horseman from sieging away at their towers? They're going to try to go for it. He gets hit with the Lotus. There's going to be the lasso, the pullback right now. As they get Moon deep on the inside, he's able to get off the crush, gets forced forward so low, but he's going to get finished off from cancel there. Drop taken out, a minute without a buyback. Now the siege is on for the tier 3. The fortification comes out. We looking to focus Monkeys, not the easiest target. Now they're jumping from Moo, looking to slash and bring down, gets the finish for Misery. Resolution looking to man fight on for Moo here, but he is just too big and tanky. While Cancel steps in, they're going to have to tag the Shrine and heal on up. Soxa will pass all that healing power onto Weehall through the tether. And coL are going to have to reposition back inside the low ground. Misery re-engaging, getting blasted down again. That's a dieback for him. Soxa almost going to get finished, but they've already made the call that this game will go to compLexity. And I got to say, a hell of a fight from them. This one felt pretty good for DC for quite a while, but through some crazy tactics, some sieging, some smokes, some weird Centaur sieging.
The game has been called and Resolution just kills everyone, but yeah. So, it felt quite good for coL, like for the initial laning phase, apart from maybe top lane. But the SF got a lot, and it felt like SF was snowballing quite hard, and TA was really falling behind. But eventually, just the 5-man, I think, and the ability just for DC to not be able to kill anyone. Like, the Centaur Stampede every single time, the Abandoned shielding, whoever. It's just... again and again, time after time, it's just DC commit with physical damage, and then they couldn't kill him. Like, Mu was just sitting in front of that tier 3 on top. They use everything on him, and then he gets Lotus Orbed, and he gets shielded, and he walks away. And then that gives time for Z-Freak to choose the perfect target. He grabs the Stardust, pretty much the only disable available on DC, and then it's just no more fighting from then on. The fight is just over. Once Slardar is dead, there is no way for them to lock anyone down. And when you're able to, I think DC just took fights when they were too weak, and they gave